Let's see if we've really got a profit or not.
My gut hunch, he's not going to care. And the worse their marriage is, the less he's going to care.
He likes personal training so much he's willing to do it for free.
Almost. I mean, he makes some money, but not as much as I think he should.
How much does he really make? Net profit on the thing?
Probably, it varies every month. So it can range anywhere from $1,500 to like $2,500 a month.
Profit.
Oh, well.
You said after he pays his bills, he's not making much, if anything.
He's not.
What bills has he got? The rental on this place?
Yeah, just the rental on the place, and then he has like that his utilities are included with the rent. And
this business annoys her. And I will tell you something about being a gym fanatic. Okay? Those of us who are hardcore exercisers, okay? In other words, we are the people, I can tell you since the age of 27, I have missed less. The most I've ever missed since the age of 27 was 2 weeks. And those 2 weeks were due to either surgery or getting bronchial infections. That's it. We're talking since the age of 27 to 57. So you're talking 30 years. Not too many people will go 30 years, be able to tell you they haven't missed more than 2 weeks. But hardcore exercisers will tell you that. And chances are, he's a hardcore exerciser. Well, clearly, he owns his own personal training studio. Also, he's a school teacher. And I can tell you, being a school teacher, exercise relieves stress. Okay? It relieves stress. When people tell you that exercise relieves stress, literally, it is not figuratively, it is literally. Because as a teacher, you're dealing with kids all day long. You got to control your temper. All day. And finally, you could go and you could just have fun and have at it at the gym. I will also tell you this. And again, this depends upon their marriage. Somebody who is hardcore into fitness, okay? That fitness potentially is going to override a relationship. In other words, if somebody said to me, Carrie, I say, let's just put it this way. Any man that wants a relationship with me needs to understand that I do the gym, period. It is not an option. It is non-negotiable. It's just not. Now, what is negotiable is, hey, we're on vacation. Carrie, do you think maybe go, a few days and not exercise? A few, not a whole lot. And see, and from an exerciser's point of view, guess what? When we're on vacation, that's just an advantage to do what? Go to a new gym facility that I've never been to. You think you're going to take me across seas, and I have never visited a gym across seas? You don't think I want to see what the dumbbell racks look like in Paris, okay? But people who are really into fitness, that fitness is going to override most things. Is an addiction? Yes, but it's a healthy addiction so long as, I'm the type, once my exercise is done for the day, I'm all yours, okay? I just need to get the exercise done for the day. But if even a spouse couldn't get me to stop exercising, it's not going to happen. And if she's coming in and I'm listening to the way she talks, I'm listening to her tone, and she's coming in basically going, you've got this hobby, business, whatever it is it's determined to be, okay? And it's not making the money that it is. She's coming across as the unhappy wife. And, my recommendation might be to her, she needs to get her own hobby.
A facility, and then he has, his internet or something that he pays.
Okay, so he's getting $1,500 to $2,500 in. What's the rent?
$1,600. So it almost takes everything.
So if he doesn't make $1,600 in a month, he loses money.
Right.
Okay. Well, I don't think it's unreasonable to sit down tonight and say, honey, we've got to look at this as a business. Mm-hmm. And we need to look and see what we've got to do with your pricing and the number of clients that you have to make what you're doing over there profitable.
And what is she going to do if he says, I don't care if it makes a profit? In essence, he says it becomes a hobby. Now, I'm smart enough and I'm courteous enough to my mate to know that I'm certainly not going to open up a business that's not going to make money and potentially hurt us. That I would never do. Of course, I'm not interested in owning a training business because being around trainers for 30 years, man, it is hard to make money as a trainer. I mean, that is something, I would never want to go into. And it doesn't matter where you're the one running the business or whether you are the trainer that works for a business. Being in the fitness industry, especially now, and this ran just earlier today, so just this morning, okay? It's a really difficult industry to make money in, and the hours are brutal because you can, as a trainer, you need to be available from 5 o'clock in the morning to 10 p.m. at night, pretty much 7 days a week. So trying to make a profit. So if he is going to do this, if he so-called wants the happy wife, I guess, and I've always hated that term because it makes it sound like she rules the roost, and I don't agree with that. But, I think so much of this is going to have to do with how well their marriage is. I really, really do, and and the relationship that they had as to why he started this in the first place. If this was started against her will, if it was like he just walked in one day and said, you know what, I'm starting a training facility to heck with the household finances. Okay. And he just started that's probably going to create some animosity in his wife because she'll feel like she will feel like she had no say in how the money was spent. But if it was a joint, hey, let's go ahead, let's try this out together. The really big thing is it going to be a hobby or is it going to be a business? And if it is a business, and that's the approach that they are both wanting to take it from, and it's not earning money, then they genuinely have a business problem. I think whether it's a business or a hobby is going to be determined more on how good their relationship is. If they don't have a great marriage, he's going to look at her and say, forget it. I don't care if it makes money or not. You're not kicking me out of it. Because fitness people, we're very stubborn. And again, we're talking hardcore fitness people, okay? Not talking the people who go, you're not going to talk about the people who go to the gym 2-3 times a week for their 30 minutes of exercise. We're talking to people like me. It tends to be a lot in weightlifters, trainers, people who are very much into, I'd say to me, pretty hardcore are the people who go 5-6 days a week. Okay. Or you even go 4 days a week, but you're there for an extended period of time doing a workout. Okay. Like nothing's going to keep you out of the gym. Like as soon as your surgery is done, the doctor clears you, you're right back in the gym again. No one needs to push you into the gym. And if he's got a personal training business here, no one's having to push him. And I will tell you also, him being a personal trainer, believe me, he uses it for, what is it? For stress relief and to possibly, and I may be jumping on this, to possibly not deal with her. It's a thought. Because I'm listening to the way she's coming across, and I'm going to reserve and say it's a holier than thou attitude, because I don't feel like we have quite enough of the dynamics if they went into this together and plan it as a business or not. So we can't quite jump to that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not okay that you're spending all this time over there and potentially even losing money.
Right.
So let's get out the numbers. Let's get out the numbers and run a P&L on this thing. And just sit
That's profit and loss.
there tonight and run a spreadsheet on it. How long has he been doing it?
She said 4 years.
He's had this place now for 4 years.
Okay, well, let's go back, for the last 12 months, and pull the revenue, and then put in $1,600 a month, and then put in the internet fee a month, and let's see if we've really got a profit or not.
My gut hunch, he's not going to care. That is my gut hunch. And the worse their marriage is, the less he's going to care. I sincerely believe that.
Figure out what his hourly wage is on this.
Yeah,
my guess is you can go work
you
for
made,
another gym.
You made $500 and you spent 600 hours over there.
I hope he knows his wife is on the phone to Dave Ramsey plotting and planning getting rid of his business, because I can tell you it's not going to end well.
Right.
You're making $1 an hour. Come on, man.
So, as a business owner, how do you, at what point do you say, it's just not viable anymore?
No, I mean,
how much time?
He already knows it's not viable. He already knows this. Okay? I guarantee you, he already knows it's not making money. He don't care. Now, if he wants to compromise, he can say it's a hobby. If he wants to compromise, he could convert his gym into a fitness place. Okay, and stop renting a place. I'll tell you this, gyms, especially after COVID, I think they were struggling before COVID, but gyms are struggling more than ever. Okay, my gym here in Tampa, Gold's Gym, just relinquished the Gold's Gym logo, and now it's some family. I look at that. That's how bad I don't even know the name of my gym anymore. Something to do with Family Co's, Sun Co's Family Fitness or something. Sounds one step short of YMCA, okay? But it's not considered Gold's Gym. People have to realize Gold's Gym, especially at this point, it's a trademark name, okay? So they gave up the trademark name. Gyms are really struggling, and especially now that gyms have to have contracts that are very easy for people to pull out of for the most part, okay? The days of gym contracts, I remember, was it about 20 years ago, okay, when I first moved to Tampa, and I... hold on. Sorry, I don't like to cough in people's microphones, in the microphone. I know that you had to live more than 50 miles away to be able to cancel a gym. Well, who the hell drives 100 miles just to have a workout and then come back home, right? Well, those days are over because nobody will join a gym that puts those restrictions on. At least if you're smart, you won't. Okay. There are too many gyms now, getting out of a contract. It's just pretty much now, it's a month to month thing. Gyms are struggling a lot to make a profit. So perhaps he could do training in a converted garage. Perhaps he could go to the person's house and do training in their garage. Something like that, get rid of the rent portion, get rid of the internet portion, and then he could still maintain his hobby. There might have to be some sort of compromise somewhere.
He's supposed to be like an adult and stuff. He teaches children.
Yeah.
Well, I teach children, and then I hit the gym bag afterwards, after school. The gym is used for his stress relief. They're looking too much at it from just the dollar amount. But I understand why the dollar amount is important, especially if it's sinking you financially. But we don't know if it's sinking them financially. It may not be doing anything.
Yeah, he does.
What does he teach?
Health and phys ed.
Are we surprised?
Okay, and what age children?
Anywhere from kindergarten to high school.
Okay. And so we would assume that they know how to do basic addition and subtraction.
Yes.
And he should.
Mm-hmm.
If he's teaching. I mean,
missing the point, Dave. It's not about him not knowing basic addition and subtraction. It's about him having a passion that he loves so much. Okay? What's going to be questioned is, will he accept seeing it as a hobby if it's really not making money? Because right now he can take deductions, but not much longer. And then the more deductions you take over the number of years that you don't make a profit, then the IRS comes knocking and wants to do a full-blown audit. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He needs, you need to sit down with him and say, I need you to look at this through the eyes of a business, and let's look at it for a few minutes, and let's see if you think this is worthwhile.
He'll say yes. And she'll say, but it's not making any money, or it's not making enough. And he'll say, but we're not hurting over it. We're not going broke over it. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
But you don't need to tell him. He ought to be able to, a logical adult male, female should be able to come to a conclusion on this. Mm-hmm. Without his wife or husband telling them. I mean, you ought to be able to look at it and go, I'm making $1 an hour. No, that doesn't cut it, Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to be providing for my family during this time. No.
See, we need insight into their finances. Because what happens if it's not hurting them at all? It's not hurting their finances at all. Everything is met. Retirement is met. The mortgage is paid off. We need more insight into the finances, because that would give an idea as to how much longer he can go operating like this. Now, me personally, okay, I would not maintain a business, at least under business category for IRS purposes. I would not maintain a business if it was going 4 years, hobby or not. Okay, I would not maintain a business if it wasn't making a profit. Okay, I would just turn it into a hobby at that point. But then again, hobbies, you don't get tax deductions, but that's the way it is.
no.
And you guys are in debt. And so I think that's a part of this equation is we need to actually make money right now.
So here's the thing. Anytime we're in a business situation with our entree leadership clients on a side hustle or a small business idea, we do one of a couple of things. One is we have to ask ourselves, what can we change to make this viable? And if the answer is there's not a change that'll make it viable, then it's time to shut it down.
Okay.
I mean,
I agree. I agree.
I think you guys are going to look at this and figure out. I think you're going to look at this and figure out you put $18,000 or what is it, $19,000 in rent into it last year. You know, and he brought in $19,500. I think that's what you're going to find.
What she's going to have to do, because I do know the mind of, fitness fanatics, all right? And clearly his career, his teaching is in fitness also. And so understanding the mind of fitness fanatics, what she's got to be willing to do, well, let's start with this. She can't just do this. Your business isn't making money, because he already knows this. She's not telling him anything he doesn't know. You need to shut it down and call it done. And then she says it in a tone that's not very friendly. Okay? She needs his buy-in to be able to close this down. And I think one of the best ways to get buy-in would be to come up with an alternative solution before she just tells him, shut it down. Because the marriage may not be great, but great or not, simply going to him and saying, this is a horrible business, it's not making any money, shut it down. But it would be different. She goes, honey, I noticed, and she needs to kind of butter it up a little. Honey, I see you working so hard. This is what I do, okay? Honey, I see you working so hard day in and day out in this training. And I am just absolutely amazed at the stick-to-itiveness you have, And something I was thinking about was, it seems to me that the rent of the rent is absorbing most of the cost. Do you think maybe you and I could figure out another way where we could perhaps find a way to decrease the rent for your business? And then that way, you wouldn't have to work so hard just to try to cover the rent. Because I noticed that we're barely breaking even. All right. I mean, yeah, some months we make a profit, but in other months we're losing. And so, I had this great idea, and I thought, would it be possible that perhaps, we convert our garage into a little exercise studio? Or would it be possible for you to go and, make your business mobile, and you go to customers, say within a certain radius of where we live? In other words, present to him possible solutions and do it in a way that shows care and concern for what it is that he's struggling to do. That to me is a better approach than just saying, shut down this dang business. It's not making any money. I've been watching you do this for 4 years and we're not going anywhere. It's kind of like when you try to get students to do what you want them to do, okay? Just going to a student saying, cut that out, doesn't work, okay? It's not as friendly of approach. It says like, hey, you know what? I notice you do a great job when you sit here. I noticed that, when you sit here, you seem to focus so well. Would you like this to be your seat? Oh, yes, no problem. Okay. In other words, you have to kind of see it. You have to present to the other person why your idea is a good idea. That's better than presenting to the other person that their idea is a bad idea, it sucks, and they better fix it. It's that diplomacy. And that's the approach that I believe she needs to take. No different than, let's say I have a mate, okay? And my mate knows, Carrie exercises 5-6 days a week. And my workouts are typically an hour and a half. All right. A short workout for me, short, is a 1 hour workout. A workout that's like next to nothing, like I didn't even get out of bed to work out, would be 45 minutes. So you figure my absolute short workout for me is an hour. My typical workout is an hour and a half. Okay. And let's say I'm with somebody and they're thinking, I'd really like her just to cut it down for a little bit. If somebody came up to me, let's say a partner came up to me and just said, Carrie, your workouts are too dang long. It's 90 minutes. For God's sakes, you're there all morning. That's not going to fly really well with me. You're talking again to hardcore exercisers or anybody who's hardcore in what they do. I don't care if it's hardcore boaters, whatever the hobby or the business/hobby is, okay? Whereas if somebody approached me and said, man, Carrie, you know what, honey, I just see you working out so hard all the time. No one's ever said this to me, okay? But, you know, I see you working out, you know, 90 minutes at a time. And, you know, honey, I think you could really use a break. How about this? How about if instead of you working out this Saturday, honey, how about if I treat you to breakfast? You know what? I would love to do that. Let's just take a day. You've earned it. And I might go, hey, yeah, I have earned it. That's better than somebody approaching me, a significant approaching me and saying, you work out every freaking Saturday. We've only got 4 Saturdays in a month. You've taken 3 of them at the gym. You see the difference? And that's what she's going to have to do with him. She's going to have to change the way she approaches it. In the back of her head, she could be going, oh my God, this business is failing. It's not going anywhere. Okay. But what she presents needs to be something that shows care and concern. You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
And you know, so, and then how many hours you spend over there, divide that into 500, and you look at him and go, honey, what part of this is smart? None.
Right.
See, that's the way I would not do it. I mean, I understand what Dave Ramsey's getting at. I get it. But talking to him or approaching him in a belittling manner, because my suspicion, I could be wrong, my suspicion is they don't have a great marriage for communication. And the reason being is because they're in this position to begin with. See, whenever somebody has to call into the Dave Ramsey show for something, that tells me right then and there that the communication between them and their spouse isn't terrific. Because if the communication between their spouse and themselves was great, then there would be no need to call into the Dave Ramsey show, right?
Right.
So, you know, something has to change. Mm-hmm. This is not okay. We have to raise our prices, increase the number of clients.
And something else we haven't thought about is how involved is she in this business? Has he allowed her to be a part of the business? See, all these dynamics matter. Or has he basically told her, I don't want you to have any hands on my business? We're assuming that they've gone into this business together.
Both. Or we got to say, we're not doing this anymore.
Okay. Yep. I'm going to have that conversation. I appreciate your opinion on that.
I guess the other thing is,
and he's going to say, don't care.
You know, do you have a basement?
We do.
Why don't you do it down there?
Yeah.
$1,600 a head per month instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing.
See, presenting a solution along with the problem. See, here's how I would do it. You compliment first. You compliment the person. You go through your concerns. Present solutions, re-compliment the person, okay? But just going in and going, God dang, you know, we've been doing this for 4 years and you ain't done squat to bring in any bread.
Thing people do now is they'll go to your house and do the work out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing he can do is just go work at a gym that already has personal training, and they hire him and pay him money.
That pay is god awful, by the way. To work at a gym as a trainer is just horrible pay for the most part. High turnover rate. And I don't care if it's a big gym or a little gym. It makes no difference. High turnover rate. Brutal hours. Just, I would recommend that he either goes to their house and trains, and he can get business insurance and all of that, or they come to his place. And again, that's all covered under business insurance, and it's not that much money.
So he doesn't have any of the overhead.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of options.
Part of the equation.
And that's how she needs to present it as, in a positive way. But if she just goes in and tries to pull the rug under him and say, you can't be a personal trainer, because I guarantee it to you. I guarantee it to you 100%. That business is not just to her husband. That business is not just about bringing in the buck. It's doing something that he loves.